Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my second Q&A video leading up to the eventual return in October for The Walking Dead Season 7. And I'll have one for Fear the Walking Dead coming up soon because, of course, kind of starting to get geared up as well as that. And I hear there's a description for the first episode of Game of Thrones. So I'm really excited for both shows to premiere, Fear and for GOT. It's just going to be really tough this year deciding which one takes priority. I guess I'll kind of play it by ear and see, how good the kickoff is for Fear the Walking Dead, and then see if Game of Thrones Season 6 should take priority or Fear the Walking Dead should, because depending on how good it is and everything off the start. We'll see, but I have been reviewing Game of Thrones since the second season. I started after the first season once I kind of heard about it and heard about how crazy it was and everything, and it's an amazing series. If you haven't seen Game of Thrones yet and you don't have much to watch this summer, I would highly recommend. Everybody I've suggested check out Game of Thrones who likes The Walking Dead pretty much also likes Game of Thrones. I don't think I have anybody come back and say, hey, Trev, I like Walking Dead, I don't like Game of Thrones. No, I don't think that's happened yet. So it's an awesome show, and it takes a lot of the sting off of the Walking Dead ending, even though this year was such a huge cliffhanger ending. So I'll put the link in the description. There is a first page. This is comic book related, but also kind of TV series related as well too. And it's kind of the first page on comicbook.com of the Negan's flashback story, backstory revealed for the comic book version. I'm sure in season 7 we'll see a TV series version of Negan, or maybe season 8. I'm sure they'll do a flashback and show us what happened with Negan. I mean, it would be really cool to see his kind of development and how he changed and evolved as a character throughout the zombie apocalypse. So I'm sure we're going to get something in the TV series. This one is, for the comic series, it looks like he's just putting together Lucille for the first time. There's like a fire and stuff. It looks pretty cool. There's going to be almost like an entire issue, so to speak, type of deal. But they're going to be released in pieces in the Image Plus comic releases, which is like I think it's like a previews type magazine where they show stuff that's coming out from Image and that, which I might actually pick it up because I've been reading Invincible. It's incredible. People have been telling me that Saga is also good from Brian K. Vaughan, and I want to check that out as well too. I really like the Image titles because they're creating new stuff. I've read pretty much all the characters in Marvel, all the characters in DC, and I like to see some new stuff that's genuinely new and creative, and Image has got some really cool stuff. Of course, Walking Dead is Image as well too with comic books. So check that out in the description, the comicbook.com link. And you can see the first preview for Negan's, backstory. It's pretty cool. Next one's from Komodo K1ng, and he said, "Hey Trev, I got a question for your Q&As. Do you think it would be better for AMC to give us occasional 90-minute episodes, or just extend the season 1 or 2 episodes? Love to hear your thoughts, and as always, keep up the great work." So yeah, I want to do one on this one, and here's what I think happens. I think that they pretty much intend to do every episode within, at least when they're writing it seems like, within the time frame. But maybe certain ones here and there, as they start to get into it and they start to kind of produce it and everything, they realize that they don't want to cut all kinds of stuff out of it. So sometimes they decide to, instead of just cutting that episode for what they have written for it and everything, they decide to make it an extended one and make it a 90-minute instead of a 60. Because really it's 40 versus 60 with the intro. So and some, just some fillers, like slow parts here and there. You could easily fill out a couple minutes of them just walking around or whatever. So 42 minutes, 60 minutes, roughly. It's only an extra 20 minutes. Sometimes, like I would think if they write something or they have an idea, they're like, oh, maybe we'll just extend this one because I think we can kind of, have a lot of these different parts here, and I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I want to do this, and I don't want to cut any of this stuff out. So it's kind of like part of the, I think it's part of the execution process. When they have it written, they have an idea of how much to kind of fit in, and then as they go through it, they decide, okay, at some point, either in the writing process, they decide, maybe we should make this one extended because, we're going to have a zombie herd and it's going to be huge, and we're going to have all these different kind of flashback sequences and stuff, and we'll do those in black and white, and then we'll do this and we'll do that, and I think sometimes maybe just that section, it's like, okay, we're going to cover that here, next episode is going to be this, next episode is going to be that, and when they do it, it's like, okay, this one here in particular, they film and everything, they get into it, and they're going, oh, maybe we should make this a 90-minute, that type of deal. So, or when they're writing it, they decide, this one could be good for an extra, like, extra little bit. The story allows for more time. So I think that's what happens. I don't think they intentionally decide, like, at the beginning, before they even start, let's do the premiere 90, let's do the finale 90, and let's do the mid-season finale 90. Because we had the Morgan one that was a 90-minute flashback, which really, that one for me was, I don't think you would plan that. I think that just kind of, I would think that would just kind of come about, as part of the execution process. But if you're asking me, I would prefer to get another episode or 2 episodes per season. That said, that would be like 17, 18 episodes. That would be hard for them to do, man. And also, we have to consider, too, that, I'm more about, I want the series to go on for, a good number of seasons. I wouldn't want them to try to do 22 episodes a season and then it just be nuts because they can't keep up with it, and then it ends up, the show, the people burn out and they decide that they don't want to do it anymore. This kind of deal. I want to be, kind of careful of when I say 17 or 18 episodes. I'd like to see them do. 16 is a lot. So remember what they started with. 6, and same with Fear. So doing that many is probably about as much as we can get. And sometimes maybe if we get some extended episodes, great. So I'm happy with the amount they do. If they could do more, great. But I don't think they'd be able to because it's just so much undertaking. You have shows like, for example, Gotham. It does 22 episodes a season. And most of them are really good. There's very few filler episodes. There's a few here and there that's like, yeah, you probably could have just not done that episode at all, and the overall story would be the same. But, they do a great job of 22 episodes of producing 22 good quality episodes. But I don't know if every show, you'd be able to do that. Some shows are easier than others. If you just have like a zombie apocalypse show is difficult because you got to do the environments, you got to do all the zombies, you got to do, all the different people involved, their weapons and after effects and everything. So it must be hard enough for them to do 16. I don't know if we could ask for 18 or 20. It'd be kind of asking too much maybe. Next one's from QVilla75. He says, hey Trev, Guillermo here from Chicago. More of a thought than a Q&A. I have a strange feeling that the season 7 premiere will feature a Negan flashback. I believe episode 2 will reveal which group member was Grand Slammed. I personally think that would be great. You do? What? Be an awesome cliffhanger for a cliffhanger. I'm curious, what do you think? Okay, let me get this straight, dude. So not only are you okay with them doing the cliffhanger, you don't mind at all, but you would rather us still not see who was killed off in the premiere. After waiting the entire summer, you want them not to show us again? What? I'll do it once more. This would get a good one out there. You know what? What are you talking about, man? If they don't show who's killed off in the premiere, I'm gonna write a letter to AMC. That's what I'm gonna do. I sound like I had people sending me essays about like death theories and stuff. I was like 3-page. I'm talking like paragraphs, like thesis statement, introductory, conclusion. It's like, what is this? And I'll do that. If they do that, I will write an essay. No, I won't. I won't do that. But they better show us who's killed off in the premiere. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm fine with the Negan flashback, but do it like you did with the Morgan flashback. Like after 3 or 4 episodes in, if you want to do it in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 4th, 5th, or 6th, I'm fine with that. Aside from that, I'd like to see it. I think that's the best way to do it. Do it in one of those episodes. You wouldn't want to do it for a premiere or a mid-season finale or even a lead up to a mid-season finale, I don't think. So those are my thoughts on it. And I hope we see a Negan flashback. But I hope we also see who they killed off in the premiere, damn it, because we're going to be waiting all summer to see. Next one's from Llama, and he says, the audio that was leaked confuses me. If it was filmed, then does that mean Chandler Riggs, Steven, and Jeffrey are lying, or the audio is fake? It is a great question. I've heard people comment this before, and I haven't had anybody come out and say, hey, Trev, I've got the original leaked audio, and it doesn't include that. Shit. But that said, I've had to go through. The channel is getting private messages and comments like every 30 seconds. So there's there's probably about 2,000 I should really go through, and I haven't gone through them yet. So my apologies, guys, if your question didn't make it for Q&A or I haven't responded to your comment. I got overwhelmed. I would need to hire somebody to go through it all because I don't have enough. There's not enough hours in the day to go through all that. It's crazy, man. After the finale, everything just went nuts with Walking Dead. People just really wanted to know, and everyone has different theories, and it's just kind of nuts. But anyway, we talked about that in the last Q&A about the finale. Theories gone wild, so to speak. Yeah. So, but that's a good point from Llama, is that they said, now Chandler Riggs did say, I'm Steven and Jeffrey, that maybe they didn't film or they didn't tell, it seems like, based on what they've said, that they don't even know themselves who it is. Like, the writers kept it under wraps, like to the point where they didn't film it. They didn't know anything. Now, yeah, you might be right. Maybe they're lying about it, but I tend to think probably not, because they usually, if there's something they're not supposed to say, they just don't talk about it, they don't say anything. But if they truly don't know, then maybe they'll just say, hey, we don't know. So that would mean the audio is fake, if that's the case. And if the audio is fake, well, it doesn't really change my opinion on Glenn being the most likely, because he's in the right spot. You also have Daryl there, Abraham, Eugene, Aaron. Those ones are the most likely. But I'll do a video where we kind of break down, the different, maybe a theory for each, because people have so many theories right now. I can put together probably a theory for each, and then we can go over it and decide which one's most plausible, which one makes the most sense. So we'll do that pretty soon, probably next week or something like that, and we'll go over each one independently, individually, in individual videos and talk about it. That will be the Glenn one that I did the other day. The breakdown. I still think it's most likely, even if the audio is fake. But with regards to what they're saying, that maybe they're telling the truth. Maybe they really don't know themselves who it is who gets killed off, and thus, it's like, how the hell would we know? They don't even know. It's such a tough call, so tough to say. And also, too, in the position where they may have not even filmed it in the position where the character was who is supposed to get the death, which would mean that, nobody really has any idea. Even Negan doesn't really know. Even Jeffrey Dean Morgan doesn't even know who he killed. He has no idea. That would be pretty crazy. And some people are even asking, do you think they've even decided yet as the writers? Yeah, of course, because, the writing and everything is a big process and everything. And Kirkman and Gimple, they think ahead, man. They've got everything ahead. Like, even with the comic books, Kirkman always has. He's got, probably, even if something happened to him, God forbid, hopefully it doesn't, but if something happened to it, and let's say he was unable to write or something, someone else could probably come and look at what he's going to do and pick up and follow the storyline, at least for probably a few years, maybe 4 or 5 years before they ran out of his outline, because he thinks so far ahead. So, we'll see, but yeah, if they don't even know who it was, man, it's like, damn it, man, how they're probably dying to find out as well, too, who it is. I bet you when they do their first, if they go into the writer's room or whatever and talk about their characters and what they think their characters are going to be like the next season, that kind of deal, I bet you they're all going to be asking, who it is, because they want to know themselves, too. They're probably dying if they don't. Next one's from Kevin Dooley, and he says, Trev, what are the chances that in the Season 7 premiere, it is revealed that Negan killed a secondary character, Aaron or Eugene, begins to walk away and then says that Lucille isn't satisfied, so he proceeds to beat another character to death, he mentions Glenn. It would shock me so much, because at first it would seem like such a letdown that he killed only a minor character, only to follow it up with a comic book story directly afterwards. I know Negan said he wanted them to work for him, but they did kill about 50 of his men. They killed so many, right? That's where it's different from the comic book series, is that in the comic book series, they only kill a small group. They didn't kill 50. This is totally, the TV series version is a lot different with regards to that. I mean, they cleared out groups and groups of Negan's, over and over again, group after group after group and even a whole outpost of his men. So that changes things entirely. And I do think it's interesting. I think somebody asked me in the last Q&A why Rick was so scared. It's like, well, if that was Rick and he had caught them, he'd kill them all, So that'd be it. It'd be game over. So Negan, in some ways, is actually more lenient than Rick, at least current Rick. He's a lot more lenient than Rick right now. Just to kill one is honestly like a slap on the wrist compared to what Rick's group has done and killed so many of them, right? So, but I don't think Negan really cares about his people. He wants them to work for him, and that's how he has so many people. But I don't think he honestly, there's probably a few people there that he actually cares about, but probably not many. All the underlings and stuff, I don't think he really cares much about them, really. But yeah, with regards to being a secondary character, a lot of people think Aaron or Eugene or Abraham too, so those are some that are near the top of the list. Maybe I'll do a top characters most likely for it, and we'll kind of go one another, at least in my opinion, right? Because you never know for sure who it's going to be. They could go with anybody, but it should be a major character to make us wait all summer to make all this stuff happen. It should, even if it was Aaron, I'd be like, I mean, I guess he's a major character, but I put him at B level. He's definitely not an A character. He's definitely not an A level character. He'd be like B, maybe C. No, I guess I put him at a B. Maybe go B minus in terms of a character. You guys understand what I'm saying, right? Your A list characters, your B, your C, your D. Yeah, he'd probably be around there. He's definitely not an A character, I wouldn't say. Next one's he's kind of like Jesus at this time. Maybe not even as important because Jesus showed up recently. Similar last season to how Jesus shows up, he kind of shows up. Charlie Romeo says, hey, Trev, I have a prediction for who Negan killed in the finale. Aaron, here's my reasoning why. Right before Negan said it and chose someone, we see a shadow of Negan walking past Rick towards Negan's right. That would leave Sasha, Aaron, Carl, and Eugene. So this is something. We can't even agree on the side or the position that he was in when he killed somebody. So we can't. Everybody read it differently, everybody read it differently. Like some people think he looks to his right. I think he's just talking and doing this type of deal. But, everybody reads it differently. So, man, it's just so tough. It's so tough to tell, man. Well, like I said, we'll break it down character by character and talk about which one makes the most sense, because I'm sure that's what they do in the writing room anyway, and then decide where they want to go with it and how they want to go. And we can at least give thoughts and think about who would be most likely. Next one's from Ben Karasani, and he says, whatever happened to Aaron's boyfriend, Eric? And I'll make this, this will be the last one for today. He's still there. He's still alive. But you just haven't seen much of him, right? Because when was the last time we saw Eric? I'm trying to think. This is like season 6, end of season 6 now. When was the last time he had a scene? I can't even remember, man. He's been like so faded into the background. It's kind of like some of those episodes where you had Gabriel was there, but we never saw him. That said, though, there are so many people in Alexandria, and there's so many people in and around that you wouldn't see everybody all the time. There's certain episodes that don't even have Rick, don't even have Carl, this kind of deal, right? So it's just what it is. Eric is still there as far as I know at Alexandria, and as far as we can tell, he's still safe. But he's not a fighter, right? He's not somebody who's going to go out and kill savers and stuff. So he's probably going to stay back and just mingle with the locals and that kind of deal at Alexandria. He's not one that's going to go out and start shooting up guns. At least not yet. Maybe later, but not right now. Great. So I'll call it here for today. Lots of videos coming up, guys. I have tons of ideas. Somebody asked me about top 5s or top 10s. Yeah, we'll be doing that. Got lots of time. It's the summertime. I thought maybe I should make some more videos this week and do like 2 a day or something. I don't really want to do that because I don't want to burn through all the topics we have to do. I like to continue, do a few a week, maybe 3 or 4 original Walking Dead in addition to, the Fear reviews and everything, and Game of Thrones. So, that's what we're going to do. Over the course of summer, there'll be lots of videos, lots of time to answer questions and Q&As, Death Theory videos and all that good stuff. So we'll get into it, but don't want to rush into it. There's plenty of time, no reason to do it all at once and then stop doing it all together. So I'll be here with you guys all summer as usual. The usual thing, if you've been subscribed to the channel for last summer or longer than a year, then you already know. Same thing as last year, really. Same thing to expect. So if you guys like this video today, you know what to do. The usual stuff. Please thumb it up below. You can share and you can favorite. If you're new and you want to subscribe, you want to see the videos all summer long, talking about The Walking Dead Season 7, as well as Fear and Game of Thrones, then you can subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this one today. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. As always, it's Trev. I'm saying peace. See you guys. You can share, you can favorite, you can subscribe. Hell, you're all going to be doing that.